a recipe that my mother and my grandmother made and that I enjoyed growing up. So it's relatively simple. It's something that's easy to make in advance. It lasts for about 2 days in the fridge, and it's a great option even on top of salads. I personally even like eating it alone, or with a great piece of toast as a open-faced sandwich, or on regular bread as a sandwich. So the recipe for this is relatively simple. We're going to start with 6 eggs. We have about 50 grams of mayonnaise, homemade mayonnaise. I usually prefer, it's the best, but you can always substitute for a store-bought jarred mayonnaise. We use about a 1/4 cup of onions, very finely diced, about 3 to 4 bunches of dill, 2 celery stalks, which add a nice crunch and texture, mustard, about 20 grams of mustard, and then the secret ingredient, which gives it something a little bit extra and special, would be the mini pickles. This is primarily dill, they're French cornichon, and pickle juice, which adds a little bit more of an acidic flavor to it. And then finally, we top our sandwich with fresh sliced avocado. So, to start, we are going to start with the 6 hard-boiled eggs that we've pre-chopped and mashed into a bowl. Again, this is something you can kind of push down with the back of a spoon after you finally chop to make more of a smooth, creamy consistency. And to this, I'm going to start by creating my base and adding some mayonnaise. So this is about 50 grams of homemade mayonnaise that I'm going to be adding to stir up. Again, not trying to press too hard because you don't want to lose the texture and have it all become kind of the same consistency. So to my egg and mayonnaise mixture, to add a little bit of texture, here is going to go about 1.5 to 2 stalks of celery. So after the celery, I'm going to add about 1/4 of a red onion, very finely diced. And the red onion has a little bit of a stronger flavor that really complements the neutral kind of flavor that the egg has. So we'll mix that all in together. Cornichon, again, very finely chopped to add to the egg salad. And then to make a little bit more of a creamy texture, the reason I add the mayonnaise first is the mayonnaise is really the base of it, and then the pickle juice and the mustard I tend to add based on consistency preferences. If you wanted a little bit of a creamier sandwich, you can add a little bit more. Whereas if you wanted a little bit on the drier side, if you're putting it in lettuce, let's say, or on a very soft bread and you don't want it to go too soggy, it's nice to kind of add those ingredients afterwards. So I'm going to add about 20 grams of mustard. And this is a Dijon mustard that I'm using. It has a little bit more of a sharper flavor that complements the egg very nicely. Mix that up. And then again, just based on preference now, I'm going to add a little bit of pickle juice. So this gives it kind of a little bit of a nice acidic flavor. It has a little bit more flavor than your traditional vinegar that you could add. It's a little bit more herbs, and it has some more salt in it as well. So you actually don't even need to add any salt to this recipe. Perfect. And then finally, to top it off, I add my fresh dill. So here we have our egg salad mixture. So right now for the sandwich I'm just going to put a very kind of hearty portion directly onto the bread. And you can play around with the consistency and the texture if you prefer that the eggs be a little bit finer. If you don't like the large chunks of celery, it's something you can just dice up a little bit smaller. And then to make this sandwich a little bit extra special, we're going to add some avocado. So I use about half an avocado for this size sandwich. So this is something we can just simply slice. this out. Just lightly spread out the avocado on top of the egg salad on the sandwich. We can sprinkle a little bit of pepper to taste. And finally finish it off with the top of the bun.